Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erica, and I'm one of the volunteers with Paul and Stephen Spiritus Centre. I'd like to welcome you all to this afternoon's lecture in English. And our lectures are based on the Gospel according to Spiritism. And our chapter that we're talking about today is chapter 11, which is Love Your Neighbour as Yourself. And the items are 14 to 15, which is charity towards criminals. And before we start, I would like to invite you all to either close your eyes or keep them open as we start with our prayer and as we connect with our guides and our mentors. Let's elevate our thoughts and our mind so that we are able to take this time for us to truly listen to our hearts and to the connections that we make at this time, that we are able to connect with our guides and mentors, with the reasons that we find ourselves here today, allowing our minds to be elevated and our hearts opened to the messages we're about to receive, the teachings of Jesus through the gospel, and that we are able to put into practice the examples that Jesus has left for us to follow. And let's start with our Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So be it. Thank you. Okay. So as I mentioned before, our chapter today is chapter 11, and it's talking about charity. The items 11 and items 14 and 15 are referring to charity towards criminals, but I would like to talk about charity in general today. So that we can look at the bigger picture, why is charity so important? Or what is charity to you? What is charity? How does charity play an important part in your life? And, what is it that we can do to do the charity that we know we should be doing on the daily basis? So I'll start off by talking about charity that we all are very comfortable with, we all understand, and and it's something that it's talked about a lot. The charity that we can do when we are giving money to someone or to a cause. Sometimes we feel passionate about a particular cause. Sometimes we hear about somebody needing assistance or needing some material goods. And then we are able to give a bit of the money that we make, a bit of that material thing that we are able to share with others. So money sometimes becomes an easy way of assisting others or supporting others, and it's definitely is a way of being charitable. Because if somebody is in need and you are able to offer that assistance, then you are in every right doing charity. But that's probably one of the easiest way of being charitable, isn't it? Because if we've got a little bit of money when we are, working and we do have, that regular income, we can always look at and say, well, I have got a little bit of money that I can help on the side, or you are able to provide that assistance because you are within your means. So, and it is not necessarily one of the toughest way of, of giving of yourself, but it in itself is an act of charity. So we're not going to take away from that because it is, it is you actually being charitable. But let's talk about the charity that sometimes can be a little bit harder, or sometimes it's a charity that we don't think about, and some people just do it naturally and not really realize that they're doing an act of charity because it just becomes part of who they are and what they do. And and that's something that we can always strive to be, you know, somebody who is naturally charitable without having to make an effort, without having to think about, you know, how can I be charitable? You know, sometimes we question where we are leading our lives. Where is our lives going? You know, am I going down the right path? Am I doing the right things? Am I on the right journey that I'm supposed to be? And only we can answer those questions for ourselves. But I believe that there comes a time in life where we do start to question, you know, am I doing the best that I can? Am I the best version of myself? You know, have I grown? Am I the same person I was 2 years ago? Am I the same person? And where do I want to be in the future? And we start questioning, you know, those things. And I think with the pandemic, a lot of people have started to question, you know, where they are in life right now. You know, we have been in lockdown for such a long time, giving us a lot of time to think about our lives and what we do. And some people are soul searching, you know, I'm one of them. I'm soul searching, you know, what am I using my life for? What's my time being utilized for? Am I utilizing my time to be the best that I can within the boundaries that I've got? And where could I've been in the past, where I was in the past, and where can I be now? You know, and am I following the right path? So chapter 11, talking about love your neighbor as yourself, and about charity. I wanted to talk about that charity that is one of, it takes more effort from us, you know, from a person. And that charity can be from when you're looking at time. You know, our time is so precious. Life can be busy, and everybody has their own issues and their own trials and tribulations. But can we offer some of that time that we have to help those who are in need? Can I take 5 minutes out of my day to pick up that phone and check up on a friend that I know is going through some difficult times? Am I prepared to take myself out of my comfort zone and go and help somebody who may need, you know, something to be picked up from the shops or something picked up from the chemist? Am I able to offer my assistance through not so much money, because sometimes, you know, a person may not have that either, you know. Like I said, we're going through a pandemic at the moment, and some people may have lost their jobs. They may have lost, they're concerned about the future, the uncertainties of whether they will continue to have a job and make money. So, but if I took away the material aspect of charity, what else can I do to help my neighbor? What else can I do to help myself? And I think that's where we need to think about, what is charity? Is me having time for my friend? Is it me forgiving someone who has hurt me? Am I able to be charitable by having patience? Could that be being charitable? When you cannot, you know, you've got enough on your plate and you're like, I do not want to have any more. I have enough to deal with. I don't want to have to worry about so-and-so person that I know is going through some difficult times, because I have to deal with my own issues. But sometimes taking that pause, analysing your own life and where you are, we can always see that there's somebody worse off than us. And not taking away from our own issues and our own problems, because they are true problems to us, aren't they? Because we're experiencing them, because we are going through them. And sometimes we tend to think that what we're going through is worse than anyone else. And in sometimes there is. Sometimes it is quite, what we're going through is really hard and really bad. But if you look on the side, if you look forward, there is always somebody in a worse situation. How is it that we can practice the law of charity without taking away from our own life, without neglecting us, our own issues? Sometimes if we can stop and look at the neighbor, sometimes what we do for them in return helps us. Can we see that? Are we able to envision that as well as part of being charitable? A lot of times, we think that if we aren't the best version of ourselves, then we can't be support to anyone else. Then we can't help anyone else because we're not in a position, we're in the best position for ourselves. But sometimes that's when we need to help somebody the most, because in helping that person, you are also pushing yourself along, and you are also giving yourself that drive to better yourself. You're giving yourself that opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to put me on pause for a second because there's somebody who's in need more than me. And I am able to put my issue aside, and I will deal with that in a moment. But in this moment of time, there is somebody that I can help. I can be forgiving. I can be patient. I can be understanding. I can lend an ear. I can pick up the phone and I can say, are you okay? Is there anything you need? I can be that person that brings a smile to that particular person a day. Who knows, they may not have had any contact with anyone. And just your phone call or even a message saying, hey, I'm here, are you okay? That could be enough. That could be what brings a smile and makes that person think there is more to life and there is somebody who cares about me. And we can all do a little bit every day. Every day we can do a little bit to help someone. Now I want to take it back to ourselves, because when we talk about charity, it's not always about being charitable to others. It's not always about giving money when we can, but it's also about being charitable to ourselves, to being understanding and forgiving ourselves for some of the mistakes we may have made in the past. Forgiving ourselves for not doing the best that we can. Forgiving ourselves for not being able to help others when we can. Because sometimes we are quite hard on ourselves more than others. We can be our worst critic. We can be our worst enemy to ourselves because we are very, very judgmental about our actions. We can be judgmental about what we should have done and what we shouldn't have done. But if we look at life in a bigger picture, if we look at life as a school where we are all learning, some may know more, others may know less. If we look at life as a progressive school of learning and teachings, just as much as we learn, we can teach. We are all on earth for a purpose. We have been given this opportunity to be here so that we can grow, so that we can learn, so that we can help others and others can help us. We are community. We are all part of one community. And I think if we remember that we are part of God's teachings and God's creations, He's got a purpose for everybody. We all incarnate here on earth with a mission that we don't remember about. You know, as spiritists, we believe in the before. So we believe that we have been born before, we have lived before, and now we're reliving in this incarnation a new life. We bring some of our experiences from our previous life, and we are here so that we can experience the material life again, so that we can be better than we were in the past. So this is why when I say, are we our better versions? Have we worked enough to make that better version of ourselves? Have we used up our time, you know, between, you know, being born to here, where we are today? Have we progressed in life? And how have we done that? We have been able to experience many different, situations in life. And how have we dealt with the situations? You know, are we able to look at them and go, okay, I wouldn't do this again, you know, and I want to make better next time I'm faced with the same situation. And this is where charity comes into play, because have I been able to learn from my experience, forgive myself for my mistakes, understand and make sure that I can be a better version with the lessons I've learned along the way. You know, you can't be blamed for not changing if you don't know you've got to change, if you don't know there's something that needs to be changed. If you think that everything is fine and there's nothing wrong, then why would you change? But situations and people are placed in our paths for a reason. And we need to find what that reason is. Sometimes you are the only person that will be picking up that phone and checking up on that friend. And by doing that, you are serving that purpose of being charitable, of being that light at the end of the day for that person. But as we say, charity does begin at home. So let's look at what it is that we're doing for our family members. Are we being charitable towards our brothers, our sisters, our mother, our father, our colleagues? You know, am I always being impatient with someone? Am I always going, oh, I can't, you know, be bothered doing this again. I've been down this road. I've done it before. And I can't do it anymore. What it is that we can do to be charitable. Where does charity begin at home? Where can I put those words into practice? Charity is something very individual, because we all living very individual lives. We all have our own journey, and that's very individual. That's why I say, what is it that you can do? What is it that I can do? How can I put the laws of charity into my daily life? And that's what Jesus has left for us to learn. Charity. Now let's talk about charity towards the criminals. I think that sometimes that is quite hard, you know, for us to think about a criminal and us looking at them and going, oh, you know, forgiving them or feeling sorry for them, or having compassion for someone who has created hardship in someone's life, for someone who has done a criminal act that has in turn had a repercussion for someone else. How can we look at somebody who has done such atrocious things to a human and say to them, I have compassion for you, or I forgive you? And I know that that is asking a lot, especially if you're a person who's been victimized, or a family member of yours has suffered some kind of injustice. How can you be understanding? And that can be very hard. But if you think about every person who is born has come from the same place. We are all brothers and sisters. We have all been born for a reason. Now, why would somebody come into this earth and become a criminal? We can't answer those questions because it's not our journey, and we're not here for that. But how can we look at somebody and say that they are somebody who we need to be charitable against when they've done something so bad? If we start at the principle of saying that we are all God's children and we are all brothers and sisters, then we can understand why Jesus wants us to be charitable to the criminals, because they also deserve to be loved. A person who's a criminal has a family, has a mother, father, is a brother or a sister to someone, and was loved. If they've chosen the wrong path, that's for them to adjust and atone. All we can do is offer the same kind of treatment as we would if it was our family or a friend. And that is very hard to do, like I said. But we need to find within our hearts to look at them as part of our family, because we are all brothers and sisters. Now, Jesus has left the lessons for us to learn that charity is something, without charity there is no salvation. But charity is something that we can all do every day in our lives. So, as we come to the end, I'd like to invite you all to think about, what it is that you can do in the smallest gesture that can make you feel like you are doing something to help someone, to help yourself. What it is that you can make it an everyday task, that you can either, be patient, lend a ear to someone, listen to someone, that you can pick up that phone and either call or make a message. Because one day we're not going to have to talk about charity, because charity is just going to be part of who we are. That's just going to be because we practice, like they say, practice makes perfect. So the more we practice, the easier it becomes for us. We're not going to have to think about it. We're not going to have to analyze it. It's just going to be who we are. And yes, sometimes charity needs to be with money, and that's a form of charity, and that's okay too. But other times, when we can't be doing that all the time, how can we be charitable? How can we make sure that we are the best versions of ourselves as we practice the law of charity? And as we come to the end, I'd like to thank you all for listening to today's lecture. I invite you all to even read the chapter 11, items 14 and 15 from the Gospel According to Spiritism, and hope that you have enjoyed my lecture today. And together we're going to, as we end, we're going to have a final prayer so that we can give a bit of ourselves. So this is another way of being charitable, that we can think of those who are in need and send some vibrations of love to them, so that we can help in a way, because we know that we are all connected, and our thoughts and vibrations can reach those who are in need. So as we gather now, if we can either close our eyes or keep them open, and we can once again connect with our guides and mentors, so that we can use this time for us to send some vibrations of love to those who may be in need, that we can think of those who may be experiencing hardship in their lives, whether it be due to financial or material things, those who may be experiencing hardship due to sickness, those who may find themselves in hospitals. Let's send some vibrations of love to them and their families. Let's extend these vibrations of love to all the leaders in the countries in the world, that they are able to do the right things for their people and make the right decisions. Let's extend these vibrations of love to all the countries in the world, those who are experiencing tragedies, experiencing loss, those who are experiencing any form of hardship, that they are able to receive these vibrations of love. Let's extend these vibrations of love to all the nursing homes, to the hospitals, to the orphanages, extending these vibrations of love to all the prisons. Let's remember that they are God's children too. Let's extend these vibrations of love to those who are experiencing mental health issues, to those who have lost a loved one. Let's extend these vibrations of love to our families and our friends, to our work colleagues, to each and every one who may cross our path on a daily basis. They are able to receive these vibrations of love. Now, let's receive some for ourselves, that we are able to receive these vibrations of love entering through our bodies, bringing calm and peaceness and harmony to our souls. As we come to the end of the gathering, let's thank God for giving us this opportunity to be here on this earth, that we are able to make the most of the journey we have been given, that we are able to put into practice the law of charity, forgiveness, and understanding, that we are able to together learn and grow. And let's thank our guides and mentors, our guardian angels, for always being with us and protecting us and guiding us along the way. Help us to open our hearts and our minds to the messages that we receive from our guardian angel every day. I'd like to thank Jesus for your words of wisdom. And let's end keeping these vibrations we've received together. Thank you, God, and thank you, Jesus, and so be it. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, have a great weekend. Bye for now.